They were on their way out back to the fishing grounds after being in here and landing, and on the way out he's just misjudged the bow there and he's getting on the wrong side of it, clipping the rocks. We wouldn't want to tow her off because we would have done more damage than what it was until we made sure that pumps can cope with the water levels. And then once we got the water levels, we thought we had the water levels steady. By that time the boat had floated off itself, but she's just a lot more damage than we thought, and she just went down. It's just a shame to see a boat going down, especially someone's livelihood. We had to think about the crew's safety, as well as our own crew and their safety as well. So yeah, we just had to make a decision and abandon ship.
We're monitoring the vessel quite regular to check that any pollution that's coming from her and also any other debris that might float clear of the vessel, we're having to make sure that is being kept clear, and then we have to discuss with the insurers from now on for the next steps to get the incident closed out. Yeah, she'd been into Lerwick for a routine port call, land her fish, and then take on provisions and stores and bunkers, and she had fuel just prior to leaving Lerwick. I believe it's in the order of 22,000 litres of gas oil they took on board. The wreck herself is outside the channel, so that's not an issue for passing traffic, but my main concern at the moment is to get that oil removed. We don't want to have the wreck of that ship.
The entire back end of a massive ship scorched. More than 2,200 passengers aboard a Bahamas-bound cruise were roused by a terrifying wake-up call overnight.
The emergency lifeboats have been lowered. We're on deck right now at 3 a.m. in our life jackets. Not a drill, not a joke. Everyone's freaking out.
For the third time this year, mechanical problems caused a major cruise ship to upend a Caribbean vacation for thousands of passengers. This time it was a fire aboard Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas. Passenger Katie Coleman told CNN,
"It was honestly the most terrifying thing in my life."
In February, it was an engine room fire on the Carnival Triumph, shutting down power and the ship's sewage system for days. 1 month later, Carnival's Dream lost power from a generator failure while in port. And now, rival Royal Caribbean has its own set of problems. Royal Caribbean said in a statement, at approximately 2:50 a.m., Grandeur of the Seas experienced a fire on the mooring area of Deck 3. The fire has since been extinguished. But, in an abundance of caution, the captain deemed it necessary to muster all guests at their assembly stations. All passengers were found and safe, but some took to the message board of Cruise Critic and complained there was fainting and vomiting as they waited for hours. The Grandeur of the Seas was just renovated last year. This morning, it was rerouted to Freeport for evaluation, and Royal Caribbean CEO Adam Goldstein is already surveying the damage. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Coast Guard will investigate.
And this afternoon, in a statement, Royal Caribbean said that they are deeply sorry for the unexpected development, and they understand that it was probably a very stressful time for their guests. Wolf.
Will the passengers, Aaron, get their money back?
They will. Wolf, they'll get a full refund, and they'll also get a voucher for another cruise to go on in the future.
6 victims have now been pulled from that partially sunken ocean liner.
The ship's owner issued a statement overnight saying the captain made significant errors in judgment and going a little too close to the coast. ABC's Lama Hassan joins us by phone from Puerto Santo Stefano. Lama, we got that big news overnight, another body found, but more are still unaccounted for.
Good morning, Rob. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I think they just don't know where these unaccounted people are. I mean, they're going to keep with the search that they're conducting right now. They don't know if these unaccounted people are either still on the ship or if they're staying with people on the island of Giglio, which is very close to where the wreckage is. Because don't forget that when people escaped, many of the locals provided them with shelter. They took them in. But as I said, rescuers are going to keep going with the search and recovery efforts. And we spoke with a team who told us that they would keep searching through the night, whatever it takes, they told us, until every single one of those unaccounted for is found. At this moment, the number of those missing stands at 16, and 2 of them are American passengers, Rob.
And Lama, whether or not there are still survivors of these 16 remaining, and we're going on 72 hours, we are hearing some pretty incredible and brave stories of survival, people that escaped.
Oh, absolutely, yes. We keep hearing all of these stories, people comparing it to the Titanic. Don't forget that this is a massive operation. It involves Italian Coast Guards, underwater scuba divers, rescuers. They're using sophisticated equipment to try to find the other survivors, those who, as we've mentioned, those who are still unaccounted for. It's also a very difficult task for them because you can just tell by looking at the wreckage. It's lying on its side, almost submerged in seawater. Inside this ship, there's a lot of debris that they have to wade through, and it's a massive vessel. Rescuers say they still haven't finished searching the part of the ship, but it is still ongoing, and they're going to keep up with this search and recovery mission.
And Lama, of course, the central figure in all of this is the captain of this ship. What he did and did not do that could have made all the difference here. What's the latest with him?
Absolutely. Well, essentially, the captain is being blamed for mishandling the incident and neglect of duty, and that's according to the owners of the cruise liner, who issued a statement. They said the captain committed a serious error of judgment, which had very serious consequences. The route the ship was following was too close to the shore, and it seems his decision in dealing with the emergency did not follow the Costa Cruise Line, which is the owners of the cruise liner. He has been detained and he faces possible charges of manslaughter and abandoning ship. And as of this moment, he is still being detained and investigated. Rob and Paula, back to you.
Lots of questions surrounding him, rightfully so.
Definitely. Well, ABC's Lama Hassan live in Italy. Thank you so much for the report.